Guys, I cannot contain my excitement. I know I look like I'm stoked. DragonCon is a little over 2 weeks away. I'm super excited. I've done a few videos on tips and tricks for beginners and just general advice for the con. This video, I want to go into the don'ts of DragonCon. Maybe this is your first con, maybe you're new to cons in general, or maybe you're a seasoned con goer and you just need a little reminder, a little smack upside the head. Metaphorically, of course. Anyway, here are the 7 don'ts of DragonCon. Number 1, and I've made this mistake plenty of times, do not spend your whole day at panels. I'll be honest, I've done this a lot, and while it's cool to see all the big guests, there's a ton of guests and it's really hard to see all of them that you want to see. A lot of times it's not worth it, because if you go to 3 big panels in a day, that's most of your day. Because think about it, you got to get in line like a minimum of an hour beforehand, 2 hours, if you're really wanting to get a decent spot. So if you go to 3 big panels, you're waiting in line 2 hours each, and then the panel's an hour long. What is that, like 9 hours? You spent like your entire day at a panel, which is fun because you get to see these guests that you most likely wouldn't get to see otherwise, but you also have sat and stood just all day long. But I've done it plenty of times where I'm like, I've stayed in the same ballroom like for 9 hours, going in and out, just hopping back in line to see these guests. Just go to a panel or two, but don't spend your whole day at the panels. This next don't of DragonCon, it may be a little bit weird, but if you've been to the con before, you probably know what I'm talking about. Inside some of the hotels, and sometimes right outside them, there's these little like carts or booths for like sweet treats. While I haven't tried all of them, I would not recommend spending your money at them. Last year there was one in the back of the Hilton, I believe, and it looked really good. Like the names of all these desserts, it looked delicious. One of them looked like it was alcohol based, like it had booze in it. I'm like, ooh, I'll get me a little boozy treat. I paid for it, I'm talking like double digits, and I got like the tiniest cup of ice cream, like teensy tiny, and I was so disappointed. And looking at the other booths and carts, I'm like, they look about the same. Overpriced, silly little treats that aren't worth it at all. If you want a sweet treat, just go to the food court and get you some Dairy Queen or something. At least it's like a larger size. Number 3 don't of DragonCon is spend a crap ton of money at the vendor hall. Now this can vary person to person. Some people, that's mainly what they want to do, is go to the vendor hall and buy cool stuff. I get it. But there have been years where I go to the vendor hall and like, this looks sick. I'm at DragonCon. I'm going to spend a little extra money. I get it. I bring it home and I don't use it. One year I got a really cool ocarina from Legend of Zelda, like a glass one, and it was like fully playable, and I had like the music book and everything. I never learned to play it. It sat and collected dust for years. I ended up giving it to a friend of mine who's a huge Ocarina of Time fan, and he appreciates it way more than I would have. That's just one example. There's plenty of big things in the vendor hall that you could blow your money on that you probably won't end up using. Like the lightsaber booth. Ooh, cool lightsabers. It's sick, but the lightsabers aren't the best quality. You can get way better ones online. Like this bad boy here, custom made. I made this. Well, I didn't make it, but I picked out the parts for like a fraction of the price of the ones at the vendor hall. So just be careful what you're buying. Don't buy big extravagant things that you wouldn't buy otherwise, because there's a good chance you probably won't use it. Number 4 don't of DragonCon is don't be a creep, don't be a perv. Look, there's a lot of cosplayers out there, and some of them decide to dress for the hot Atlanta weather. Like, I get it, like they're out there, but that does not mean you can be a creep or a perv. There's a lot of guys with these big camera setups, and I know not all of them are asking those cosplayers to take a picture of them, their permission. You see it, and if you see it getting out of hand, definitely report it. And DragonCon is a con for all ages, so that person you want to take a picture of, they may not even be an adult, so don't be weird. I hate that I even have to say this, but stop it. Get some help. Number 5 don't of DragonCon is Skybridge related. Don't stop on the Skybridge. There's multiple Skybridges connecting the Hilton, Marriott, and the Hyatt. They get crowded. They get really, really crowded, especially Friday, Saturdays. And you may see a cosplayer coming from the other direction who's sick and cool, and you want to get a picture with them, and they're your favorite cosplay character from your favorite show ever. But don't stop. Like, if anything, just follow them with their permission, of course, because as soon as you stop to take a picture, even if it's for like 5 seconds, that causes a huge traffic jam. We're already stopping and going as it is already. Just don't be a weirdo. Number 6 don't of DragonCon, kind of related to this but not quite, is the elevators. Don't overcrowd the elevators. If they're packed already, do not hop in there. I swear, there's been so many times, like, I've been trying to get on an elevator and it opens up and it's completely packed. Like, there's no way I'm getting in there, and someone's like, oh, let me just This is not the subway in New York City. Like, come on, like, there's already stinky people here. Like, you don't need to be making it more stinky by getting in that elevator. And if you only need to go a few floors up, I know the stairwells are kind of smelly and hot, but just take the stairs. Like, come on, you can probably use it. Like, we all can. Number 7 don't of DragonCon is don't go outside the con boundaries at night. I will say DragonCon is pretty cool. You're relatively safe if you're in the general area of DragonCon, even at night. I mean, there may be some strange people out, but there's plenty of DragonCon people that kind of push the riffraff out. But once you get a few blocks past DragonCon, it starts to feel, you know, like Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta plenty of times when DragonCon isn't going on, and you got to be careful. I mean, it's not like you're going to get shot up in the streets unless you are asking for it, but it's definitely a different scene than DragonCon. And once you go past those DragonCon boundaries, you're kind of getting the same thing. There's been a couple times where I go to like a restaurant outside of DragonCon and I don't get an Uber. I walk or I take a scooter. I'm like, oh wow, like maybe I should have grabbed an Uber. Nothing bad has happened to me, thankfully, but I know it can happen, and better not to put yourself in that situation and ask for that sort of thing. Just get an Uber, drive your car, be smart. That is it for my don'ts of DragonCon. I've made a few other videos about DragonCon, tips for beginners or suggestions on things to do. Those will be linked up above or in the description. And if you have any tips yourself, leave them down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And that's all I got. Don't be weird at DragonCon.